Yes. So I was really young, but I always tell people like I don't necessarily remember the exact like coming over from Ghana, but I remember the sensation of change because even 3 is old enough to like you can tell something has very shifted in your life, and a biggest shift is moving to a new continent, to a place where most of the people don't look like you and they don't speak your language. Like I remember that. And when we first got here, I struggled. I did not speak English, and I didn't speak it for our first several years there. Like I got there 3 up to like first grade, second grade. I was really struggling with English.
Okay. I love a great
Mhm.
success story when you're not speaking the language and now you're publishing multiple novels in the language. You are a master of letters in the language. So when I know reading was instrumental for you to learn the language, correct? So about when are we talking that reading? What kind of books are you reading, and how does that help?
Got it. So I actually remember the exact moment things started switching. It was around second grade, and at this point, like things were going bad. Like teachers were calling my parents, and like she does not understand what's going on. We might have to hold her back, and like no one wants to be held back. Like first grade, second grade, that's embarrassing. And so my parents were like, really, like we don't know what to do. And I remember we were at BJ's, right? For those who don't know, BJ's is kind of like a Costco like big bulk store. And there was this like stuffed dog I really wanted, right? And I was there with my mom. And so my native language, I was like, Mom, me pet that dog way, me pet that dog way, which basically means like, I want that dog, I want that dog. My mom says to me, like in her native language, she's like, okay, if you want the dog, I want you to go to the book table, pick up one of the books in English and read it all the way through. And then if you can tell me what's about, next time we come back to BJ's, I'll buy you the dog. And I remember being like, ugh, okay, mom. And like storm over to the table. And the first book, I just grabbed the first book I saw. I wasn't even thinking. And the book turned out to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I want to pause and say that I do not agree with the author's current transphobia or bigotry at all. And I'm very, very against like a lot of the rhetoric that's been coming out. But with the book itself, Harry Potter itself, that it just opened my eyes to wow, like this, you can put words on a page and it'll create worlds in people's minds. I was just hooked from there on. Like I think I read that whole book in like 3 days, which at the time, like as someone who cannot speak English, like that is very, very fast. And at like 8, that's a very fast time to read like a book. And I just kept going and going from there. And do you know, I actually never got that stuffed dog. And I told my mom, yeah. And I told my mom about this like a couple years ago when I started remembering the story. And she's like, oh, you got something better. You are now an author. And I'm like, no, I didn't. You owe me a dog. So that is a current point of contention in our relationship that comes up every now and then. Because I feel like she's honor bound to get me that stuffed dog. I might be in my late 20s, but I deserve it. So,
Well, use all those sweet royalties coming in from the books and go get yourself a dog, right?
but it is the honor thing. Like, yes, I could go buy myself one now, but it's not. She promised it to me, so she needs to go buy that's the whole thing. Like it's the honor of she buying it because I fulfilled her challenge. Like I don't even know if they make that dog anymore or if that like BJ's is even still there, but it's the honor. It's the principle of the matter at this point.
Well, she better find it. If she has to hop on eBay and take a vintage stuffed dog to BJ's to rebuy it there, by God, contract must be fulfilled.
Thank you. Someone understands. Thank you.
I have zero power. Your mother has never met me. She won't listen to me, but if she listens to the show, you know what you need to do.
Also, all very true.
So you go on and you read all of the Harry Potters, and then from there read everything else, or
Yeah, at the time when I started, I think they were on Goblet of Fire because I remember not being aware of the releases before, which sounds wild to anyone in the 2000s because like how are you not aware of Harry Potter happening? But I was just like, again, I barely understood English at all. I'm just like, I got no idea what these people are saying. But after that, yeah, I remember being really excited when Order of the Phoenix dropped. And then some other favorites from that age, from that time in my life, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Adored that series. Gail Carson Levine, like everything she wrote, particularly Ella Enchanted, and also David Knight, which was also one of the first books I ever read that had like a black girl as like major character in a non-racist way. And I remember like at that young age being like, oh my goodness, like it just blew my mind. I'm like, you can write about black characters as bad as it sounds. Like that was just not something that was prevalent in the early 2000s in a mainstream and also not very bigoted way. Um, and another one, oh, Cornelia Funke, like Inkheart, the what's it called? The the Thief Lord or Cornelius Inkheart and Thief Lord, two of my absolute favorite. Like I was just gravitated very heavily towards fantasy from a young age.